My dudes, what's going on? It has been 4 months, and if you're wondering and you don't want to wait through the whole entire video if I'm coming back, yes, I am. I'm coming back to IdleOn November 6th for World 7. Now, you can catch me at twitch.tv/GriffyBit, but if you're not a fan of that ecosystem, just so happens that we'll be streaming on the main channel on YouTube as well. So multi-streaming coming soon, except you just won't have music on this channel, just because, YouTube and copyright restrictions. For the people that want to stick around and figure out where I've been for the past 4 months, let's get into it and explain. Also, at the end, I also have a special announcement. 4 months ago, I actually created a video, but I unlisted it to YouTube because I wasn't really a huge fan of leaving sort of negative stuff when it comes to the main channel. Kind of want to keep more positivity, more, So if you're watching the Discord for my announcements, which strongly suggest you should, long story short, so you don't have to watch it, TLDR, is I had to take a break due to the fact that my health was at an all-time low. If you've been part of the stream, you know that I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. So this might actually, potentially, most likely not be the case anymore. It might have just been a different diagnosis for something else. But the weird thing is these diagnoses were also causing a one-to-one symptoms of Crohn's disease. So it's actually kind of funny how that works out. When I decided to make the decision, I went to the hospital twice within a month. Except this time, I thought I was going to die. I thought something blew up inside of me, and I had to not only have paramedics, but also the fire department had to come in and remove me from the household, rather me going to the hospital. So it was a dire emergency. After that time, I decided to make a decision that I needed to take a health break to be able to figure out what the hell was going on, because it was even getting to a point where I was drinking water and I was going to throw up. Turns out, over time, my biggest symptom was chronic nausea. It basically felt like, if you ever went on a Spinatron at the carnival, that was basically and then how you felt afterwards, that's how I felt every day. 24/7, no matter what, nothing could stop it. So basically, I got to a point where I had enough. And I came to the conclusion that if I don't take a break now and risk irrelevancy, then I'm going to lose it all later when I can't even function. So after going to the doctor multiple times, getting scans, different sort of decisions, figuring out stuff on my own, learning else about my stuff, I've came to the conclusion, and with the doctor's help, of course, that I have a quite mountain of things that are essentially kind of annoying. Now, everything is not set in stone because, as we know, the body is a magical thing that does very different stuff all the time. What it turns out that could possibly be, and the highest signs we could possibly be, one, I'm currently getting sleep tests and in the middle of it to get diagnosed with insomnia, which is awesome. We love that for us. I'm getting a level 1 sleep test soon because I passed the sleep apnea test, so that's good. Number 2, I might have to get surgery on my nose due to the fact that I might have a collapsed nasal canal because I can't breathe through one nostril. I didn't realize that, so I have not been getting the oxygen that I needed, so that's a huge thing. Number 3, I have vestibular dysfunction, which basically means that I have a really hard time keeping balance. Not only that, I get insane vertigo on almost the smallest of things. For instance, even tilting my head up and looking up will cause me to get insanely dizzy. It is absolutely horrible. And the biggest one that was actually a huge culprit to my chronic nausea is brain and gut axis dysfunction. So TLDR, without getting into the too crazy of the semantics of it. So basically, there's a nerve called the vagus nerve, which is basically the control center between my brain and my gut. My body has been stuck in fight or flight mode for, I would say, about 10 plus years, because this is how long I've had it. It could be longer, but it got the worst at this point in time. And essentially what's happened is my brain is firing off signals to my stomach that I need to evacuate. And that is essentially what's happening, and it's a continuous firing off. So that's where I constantly feel like no matter what, I need to puke. I don't puke. Sometimes I don't puke, but it's the anticipation stress. It's the constant feeling of needing to vomit. And even sometimes I do end up vomiting, but it's not because of necessarily anything other than my complete nervous system is shot. And on top of things, because of this dysfunction, I also have acid reflux. And on top of that, turns out it's not Crohn's, it's actually IBS, or looking towards more of IBS, because the symptoms with those added things are adding up. Now, I did not go on WebMD to diagnose myself. This is done through tests, and diagnosis is with my doctors, I should say now. So yeah, I'm just one giant test subject, and we're getting more tests soon. And that's basically what that's all about. Now let's talk about the good stuff, okay? Because I've been doing a lot of work in the past 4 months. Now, the biggest one is actually this thing, okay? So basically what it is if you've guys ever seen C-bands, for instance, for nausea, for like on the boat or in a plane, motion sickness. This is basically that, except on steroids. What it does is it hits your C9, which is the pressure point that controls your nausea signals, and it shoots electrical pulses into it. And it basically blocks the signal from your vagus nerve to shoot out that nausea sensor from the brain to the gut. So that was a huge help. Fantastic, by the way. This thing's amazing. I'm not even sponsored by it. It's from a product called Emiterm. So I mean, there was two. The other one required electro gel or whatever. I just used the dry one, and so far it works great. I've seen massive improvements. I've done a complete diet change. I have before, since I thought it was Crohn's, I was on a low fiber diet. I've actually had to switch it around, and I've actually had a moderate fiber diet, and I eat super clean. It's just basically chicken, potatoes, and veggies. I'm on a meal plan, so and then sometimes I have my cheat days, but I mean, that's if I'm feeling good. Also, I'm on IBS medication, which has actually been quite helpful because now my organs now my intestines, I should say, aren't having muscle spasms because I thought it was my organs. Turns out it was actually my intestines and my colon. And I'm on a couple other medication that not necessarily going to disclose, but it's all helping. And then, I've stopped. I basically quit everything. I'm feeling about 70% better. So that's essentially what I've been tackling for the past 4 months. And it felt like that I got to a point now that I'm feeling much better. Now, I want to make a massive shout out and a huge shout out to all the people. You know who you are, that were still supporting me in this time. There's people that are still subbed to Twitch. There's people still, checking up on me all the time, seeing how I'm doing. You guys know who you are. Honestly, thank you so much. I honestly could not do this without your guys' help and the fact to even come back. And I'm coming back on, I don't know if I'm going to be irrelevant or not. It is what it is, but I'm still coming back regardless. The good stuff though, on top of, feeling better and all that jazz, we're still going to be doing IdleOn. We're still streaming it. There's also MapleStory Idle coming out soon, so we're going to be checking that out, of course. It's basically IdleOn except MapleStory, so that's going to be fun. We're going to be going back to guides, videos, fun videos, stuff like that, all that good stuff, even some Platinum Trophy stuff here and there. On top of that, like we said, we're multi-streaming to Twitch and YouTube. I was thinking about doing Kick, but I haven't made a full decision on that yet, so I don't know if I'm going to. We're also bringing back bingo. We're going to be doing some more account reviews, of course, because I know how much you guys love that stuff. There's probably even going to be a rant video here and there as well, because, hey, quantity sometimes reigns superior. Now, it might take a little slow run to get started up because, I'm still getting back into the swing of things. I'm 4 months rusty. The special announcement is I have done a full free-to-play series from World 1 to World 6 so far. Of the making of this video, as you're watching it, within 3 hours time, the first episode will be released. And then what we're aiming for is every 3 days, we'll be releasing another free-to-play episode. So then we're going to be getting a full series of our free-to-play where I basically walk you through everything, explain the basics of everything. So anybody that's brand new, if you're new, hi, I'm GriffyBit. Nice to meet you. We are going to be able to explain everything. So when you come out of it, you have a pretty good idea of how to play IdleOn and what to do. Now, keep in mind, this is my first playthrough. So Teo and Teo's my editor. We have it's a little bit of a learning curve, a little bit new stuff. I usually have Twitch chat to bounce off of. And this time it's just me and the first couple of episodes seem a little maybe not as confident as I'd like to think, but I still think it's good content. And then after, as it consists, it gets much, much better. So definitely stay tuned for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's super awesome. Super great. Can't wait for that. But yeah, we're back, my dudes. I'm excited. I missed you guys, honestly. And we're, YouTube comments, stuff like that. I felt really bad. And just getting back to the guide grind. But with that being said, my dudes, I got to get back to the guide grind. Stay tuned for the next IdleOn video. Stay safe. Happy grinding, and peace out.